Play of the game from way down.
Silence. Rainer getting absolutely
A team wipe.
The living bomb's going.
Oh my goodness, the ring. Bob Stasnico gonna find Rainer.
Jason, happy Thursday, my man. It is the last week of the regular season for divisions B, C, and D. And while this isn't the big game in NGS, that is, of course, Wood League versus Duratan's Couch, the outcome of that game determines the playoff seedings of 4 different teams. And no matter what the outcome is, we'll have 4 different results for all 4 different teams. 2-0,
All right.
2-1, 1-2, 0-2, all 4 different seedings. But we are here for Division D East, Bancho, Furters. This is a big one too. Let's pull up the standings. Bancho technically currently sitting in 2nd place, but they are 16-1 on the season in map win-losses. They are projected to be the number 1 seed, and Jason, immediately following this game, will throw to Arrow of the Storm, where Probius and Bancho will play. Bancho's playing a back-to-back tonight, and very likely the outcome of the second game could determine the number 1 seed.
Yeah, I mean, these are 2 very experienced NGS teams. A lot of very, very familiar names up on the screen as we're set up here in lobby. And, of course, it's going to be very interesting to see what these guys come up with. Always a little bit of a different flavor than what you would expect from the meta down here in Div D. And looking forward to seeing what we get out of this D East matchup tonight. By the way, Bancho, an East team, doing a doubleheader that starts at 6, which would be 9 o'clock for them. Mm-hmm. That's crazy late for these guys.
These guys are some animals. Now, Frank's Furters on the other side having a strong season, 13-9 map record. They can climb in the standings a little bit. They could get as high as probably about the 4 seed. Not really going to slip any lower. So points big for both sides. But if Bancho takes the domination, they will still be in 1st place regardless of the outcome of the next. No, is that right? Hold on. 3, 6. No, they'll only be 2 points up. So regardless of the outcome of this, Probius could win the set and take over 1st place later tonight. So this is really big for everybody. We have a lobby on Braxis Holdout. The map selection of Bancho, leaving Frank's Furters with the number 1 pick. We have 10 players. I think we're pretty close to already.
Fond memories on this map, Mongoose. I'm not going to lie. However, it is definitely one of the least played maps that I've seen in previous seasons. I haven't been too up with this season, but a lot of teams don't tend to enjoy this map. So I see it banned out. I can see it being banned out quite often. So I'm a little surprised that we're starting out here tonight.
See, and this is a skewed view because our view the last season in particular, because we played on the same team, is we don't particularly like Braxis. We banned it and didn't play it. I still don't particularly like Braxis, but the team I'm on really likes Braxis. They pick it a lot. We win there a lot, and I tolerate it because we're winning. But not one of my favorite maps. I just don't particularly enjoy it.
Yeah.
But here we are. Solo lane definitely gets the magnifying glass on it when you're playing at Braxis Holdout. That solo lane matchup really important.
Yeah, keeping control of that beacon up top, it can really free up your 4-man to be able to do quite a few things between camps, pushing super hard, trying to rotate to get a pick. If you own that, then it just gives your team so much security and freedom. And you know, you're bound to get some of that charge because you're usually going to be going back and forth in the bot in that 4-man. And if you're controlling the top, it's just going to get you to that objective all the quicker.
And I think Rexar is just generally strong, but on Braxis, I think he gets super, super high billing because of his ability to put Misha on the point while Rexar can still soak. It's very hard to bully Rexar in the top lane. And more often than not, it means you're having to send a double team up there to deal with him. So I would be very surprised if we didn't see Rexar either drafted or banned at some point in this game number 1.
Yeah, this was really Rexar's one map that we would see him on, even before he had gotten like re-legitimized by that rework. So, we've seen more and more of him in the meta, but this has become, a map where we see him picked and banned very early, pretty often.
And thanks to my teammate Wolverine for the follow. I did notice that earlier. And Weenus, of course, for the 68 + 1 bits.
What's up, Weenus? We see you.
Yeah, you see the cat hair mug, Weenus? The one that says everything tastes better with cat hair in it? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Because that's what happens when you have cats, cat life.
Wait a minute. All right. But, definitely looking forward to, let's see, are these guys good to go? Looks like they're good to go.
Kind of looks like it. And there he is.
There it is.
Welcome.
I was waiting for it.
Yeah, welcome to Braxis Holdout. First pick. First ban. Over to Frank's Furters, I believe, if I recall correctly.
Yep, that does appear to be the case. Anna going to be banned out right away. So you've mentioned this before, Goose, and I'm slowly starting to, remember, kind of retain what you've been telling me. We should see Ariel and Deathwing banned out here.
That is correct.
Over on the side of Ban Show.
Yep. I've seen Ariel even higher than Deathwing nowadays. I've seen Deathwing slip through a couple times, but Ariel, and this is the problem currently with second pick on a map like Braxis Holdout. Rexar's really strong. So is the Ariel, so is the Deathwing. One of those things is coming through. And
yeah, for sure.
For that reason, I hesitate using my map pick to take a team here because it gives them control of the map there, as we have Johanna banned out by Frank's Furters.
Yeah, Joe, very good on the control point, able to really sit there for a long time and not be punished for overstaying and trying to block the map objective charge. So not surprised to see her go out. Anna, just kind of that really good sustained healing. And now which of the two did Ban Show throw out? They're going to choose Deathwing.
Also, and there's the insta Ariel lock. I mean,
didn't even take him a full second.
And the other thing worth noting, for Frank's Furters in the red, if I remember correctly, they really love themselves some ETC. They have banned out the Joe. That means, I think, if you're Ban Show, you either got to pick it or be left with a tank choke.
Well, let's not forget, Indecisive now has his hands on Ariel. They could very easily go with a Cho'Gall.
They could. Who is definitely more in the meta now than it used to be. They did pick the ETC as I recommended. Both, I think, the best generalist tank left available. It also denies it from Frank Furters, and they play a mean ETC. And, of course, Kael'thas is always solid.
Yeah, just solid, continual damage, and especially with that Flame Strike, people are going to want to be piling onto that charge. And so as soon as they go into that circle range, he's just going to throw it down. He's going to have bombs in there where people are constantly being put into these alleyways and these choke holds. And it's going to be very easy for him to get good damage output throughout the match.
And speaking of Braxis Holdout Special, Zul'jin is definitely a Braxis Holdout Special. Being put in that 4-man where he can just stack pretty much all the time means this is the map that you see him far and away the most. Li Ming ban coming out for Ban Show. And let's see who Frank Furters takes off the board. Are they going to telegraph something? Is it going to be a generic ban?
Yeah, and Zul'jin also a pretty decent hope generator. They could still go with something a little bit more AoE heavy like a Gul'dan, but Zul'jin can definitely get the job done. And looks like Thrall going to be the ban out, so maybe targeting that solo lane up there. I wonder if that means that maybe there's some kind of matchup that they don't want to see that Thrall have to go against in their solo lane pick.
Or also equally possible, Bancho might just have that Thrall player.
That's true.
So 2 selections for Bancho, the current king of D East, going with the Vala and an ETC, some blinds for the Zul'jin. So Vala Kael'thas, that is a lot of damage, also a lot of squish, but haven't shown their solo lane yet. Frank's Furter is going to send Dahaka up to the top. That's a guy who's kind of fallen out of the meta a little bit. Don't see him too much, but we will see him here. That does give him the global, of course, should they choose to utilize it. And
yeah, that global can be... Oh, maybe he's not in the solo lane then. Dahaka could be sitting here in the 4-man. And the cool thing about DJ Coldcuts being down in the 4-man with Leo up top is that brush stock. It allows him to get right into that top lane for gank attempts. And if they can't manage to hold the bottom lane and need a breather, Dahaka can just go right up top and make sure they've got that top beacon to block the charge.
Yeah, and Corix and Slexia actually called it in chat. They said double Bruiser's Leo incoming from Frank's Furters. So this is, from what I'm gathering, chat, correct me if I'm wrong, this kind of double Bruiser, triple frontline solo Zul'jin, that must be a Frank's Furters Especial. And on the flip side of that, Chen going to be in the solo lane for Bancho.
Yeah, very interesting drafts on both sides. I'm a little bit concerned for Bancho in the fact that they've got Vala, a very squishy hero, and Lili, who's not exactly well known as a power single target healer. Typically, you want you want that possibly even double support to keep Vala up. She has one of the lowest health pools in the game, especially for a full hero. And not a whole lot of support. ETC is a decent healer, but that's really about it. Vala, Ronan's going to have to be very careful on this hero, especially with Zul'jin on the other side. And he's got to make sure not to put his backs to any walls to Diablo. One quick charge and flip, and it's going to be lights out for Ronan.
So Selexia telling us it's actually going to be Leo in the 4-man. So they will be really bullying that 4-man. And Vala, you're correct on her health pool, but to me the bigger concern with Vala over her health pool is her short range. She's really got to step up, and she's got to step up into a Diablo Dahaka Leo. That's a lot of initiation in CC that she's going to have to step up into. But game number 1, my friend, Braxis holdout, Division D East, Bancho. Frank's Furters, the blue team. Bancho Bluesteins will be on Kael'thas. Quinnell on Lili. Stev13 on ETC. Ronin on Vala. And we actually have double pandas as Shu Sui or Shu Si. I'm going to say Shu Si, and I will botch that even if that is the right pronunciation, playing the Chen.
And on the right, we've got Frank's Furters, Dallying Pig going to be on the Diablo. Boggs on Zul'jin. DJ Coldcuts playing Dahaka. Ariel going to be being played by Indecisive. And Magic Master playing the Leo.
Yeah, and there's some interesting things to look at here with Frank's Furters. As long as they don't pass that bomb round. Frank's Furters comp here. They have the Leo with the reduced death timers. If Dahaka goes, not isolation, but the other one is Ronan is caught out, but that bomb, those guys are forced to back up a little. Bomb is passed around. ETC getting beat up a little bit. But ETC, or Leoric reduced death timers, Ariel resurrect, and Dahaka can basically have 3 health bars if he takes the right heroic. So you're going to have to kill Frank's Furters a lot, as Kael'thas, the first to fall, first blood to Frank's Furters.
Well, yeah, bad news for Bancho. Kael'thas just got killed. But good news, Kael'thas did not go with the Flame Strike talent at 1, so didn't lose any stacks. Still has those 2 on Mana Adept. Just got to look on the bright side, Goose.
Now, top side, I kind of wondered how this Dahaka Chen matchup would go. I'm not going to lie, it's been a little bit since I've seen it. but I'm pretty sure, all things being equal skill-wise, this is a matchup Chen will probably win. And you can see it happening right here as poor DJ Cold Cuts is just getting absolutely beaten up. And really can't step in against that Chen. So Zul'jin does go down. I got here just a hair late. But Bancho roaring back. Ariel now in trouble. ETC trying to body block. Gets checked into the wall and then overpowered for his trouble. Now tanking the tower. But another death for Frank's Furters as ETC does escape fairly low.
Yeah, Leoric going down, not a huge deal. We'll be able to come back soon, but the bigger deal is in this top lane. DJ Cold Cuts just not being able to hack it up here just yet against the Chen. So that's going to be the first charge, and here comes the Zerg wave for Bancho.
That is the fastest 100 I've seen in a hot minute. 2 minutes and 19 seconds. Bancho securing the first 100-0 Zerg wave as that Dahaka top lane really struggling into that Chen. And now they are pushing in hard. Vala Kael'thas putting out the damage. Stun does land onto the Zul'jin. Charge to peel the Vala away. And then the overpower onto the Kael'thas. ETC flying in. In the meanwhile, though, this fort going down quickly. Bancho deciding that they have possibly overstayed, and maybe they have. Dallying Pig going deep, gets the Q and the E, but now it's actually Dallying Pig went further than his damage could follow. And Ariel and Diablo pay for it. Now, Bancho, they are going to step in and finish off this fort with 2 members of Frank's Furters down.
Yeah, Dallying Pig with a little case of red eyes there. He really wanted to get the drop on him there. Thought he could get to Ski, but was not quite able to finish the job out there, and then was caught in no man's land. Ariel also stepping up a little bit too far, trying to help him. And the wave clear is going to be a little bit of a problem here. Zul'jin not providing quite enough wave clear to be able to handle these big objective pushes, so they're going to have to try a little bit more coordinated effort to try to get these objectives, Goose, because they really can't handle losing them without losing a lot of structure damage.
Yeah, the Leo with Neil Peasants will help, but an aggressive play here by Frank's Furters. They get the Kael'thas on the invasion, and I thought they would do something with. There we go. Took them a minute, but on to the Bruisers. Kael'thas up in 8 seconds. And that, I think, will be enough time for Bancho to contest if they choose to, but they are not. They're just simply going to collect more soak down in this bottom lane, going to push this as far as they can. Frank's Furters getting a kill and an invade and catching up on that XP loss a little bit, but also pushing this Merc camp into the keep wall.
Yeah, fortune favors the bold, Goose. Right now, Frank's Furters were put a little, I would say a little step behind there off of that first exchange early in the game. So they felt like they needed to do something aggressive to try and catch up, and they did. They went back, they got a pick, they got a camp steal, and now things have started to equalize a little bit here going into the second beacon phase.
Yeah, sometimes if you're just kind of where the other team doesn't expect you to be, an unorthodox rotation, that's what they did. But speaking of, Bancho kind of waiting in the wings, ETC just watching, but now he's going in. His team is far away, forced to power slide defensively as ETC gets knocked around just a little bit.
Yeah, he thought he had something there, and then all of a sudden realized he was in the middle of 5, but yeah, he did get out.
Now, all 5 members of Frank's Furters here at the top. Diablo does get the flip onto the Vala. There's a quad power slide, quickly followed up by the damage from the Kael'thas, but the tongue is landed on the Vala. She is cleansed away. Kael'thas doing work. And all of that, a dead even fight, but 5-on-4. Chen is just in the bottom lane, like collecting XP and clearing camps and having a sandwich.
Yeah, Frank's Furters, maybe I would even say overcommitting here to the top. They're losing soak. They're losing that level advantage. They are stopping the charge, and actually Lily getting put out of place here. The slide comes in, though. The save coming in from Skeeve. Boggs is going to go down, and all of a sudden that's a 2-for-0 exchange on the 4v4. Make it 3 as Cold Cuts goes down, and Dallying Pig will be the only one that escapes out through the bottom lane.
Yeah, a combination of some nice peels and fast feet from Lily. I mean, she actually gets out, even though she probably shouldn't have. She was caught a little bit out of position. 10s are online for Ban Show, and we have Jug of 1,000 Cups, Mosh Pit, Rain of Vengeance. Still no selection from Chen and Kael'thas, though. They use their 10s to go ahead and rip down this fort. If I were Ban Show, I would run straight at boss. It is going to be Phoenix and Panda Pals. And are they rotating bottom or to boss? They have a full level. I would frankly just rip that boss and get the objective later, but instead they're trying to catch Leo overextended. They're looking. They have caught Leo. I don't know if he has Ghost Walk. He does. They were waiting for it, but Magic Master used it at the right time to get himself out of dodge. Meanwhile, nice job by Frank's Furters of playing Ring Around the Rosie here while they try to catch up to their level 10s.
Yeah, I agree with you about Boss Goose, and it actually looks like they are thinking about it. They are going to go ahead and go for it here, but now only half a level, and Frank's Furters has already kind of proved that they're willing to go in on those kinds of and hedge those bets if they need to. But it looks like this time around they're just going to stall out the objective, look to get the 10, which I think is the smart play. They can clear up the boss without it doing too much damage. They might have to give the objective, but if they lose the boss and the objective and the team fight, that's pretty much game over here. So Frank's Furters are going to choose instead to just stay in the game.
Look at this big flank by Frank's Furters here. Trying to catch somebody, they don't. Ban Show forced to back up, but ETC is on the way. If Ban Show can buy enough time, they're going to have their tank coming in on flank, and here's going to be a mosh pit. There it is. Catches 3. APOC used to interrupt it, but it is going to be too little too late for Ariel. She goes down, as does Zul'jin. Ban Show currently on the warpath, not channeling, trying to get some more kills, but now they're going to go back and channel boss, pushing top lane. Ban Show controlling the game thus far.
And the biggest tool for them to burn down this boss is Zul'jin, so that kill on him was very good. Also, getting the Ariel first is pretty key to countering this comp with the Resurrection, so very well executed from Ban Show. Good focus fire, good rotation, and an amazing mosh pit from Skeeve. He is really being MVP here of the first half of this game.
Yeah, what I really liked what Ban Showed there did is they backed up because they knew they were kind of in a weird spot, but they just backed up and just kind of soft engaged until ETC got there, and then they went in. They didn't like panic or run away or try to fight until he got there. They just did what they needed to do until their boy got there, and then they did some work.
So looking at the potential for a 5v5, but it looks like for right now, Frank's Furters backing off. They're going to go ahead and concede since they have that bottom objective. But here comes Ban Show. They're trying to get something done here. They don't want to fight too far into the lane, but they are managing to push him back and should be able to secure the objective off of this.
Yeah, they kind of feinted an aggressive rotation there and then just kind of backed up, taking their level 13 advantage, taking the 100 to 0 Zerg wave, and picking up some mercs on the way out too.
Yeah, this will help with the small amount of Zerg wave that's going to spawn out of the bot lane. 33%, still something you don't want to leave unattended, but this will allow the full 5-man push here for Ban Show as they make a play that should likely get them the top keep here.
Yeah, and a couple of deaths could be more than that. Skeeve sitting in the bush here. All ults up for both teams. Nice job of Frank's Furters not to get caught out. And here comes Chen. Here comes ETC. Looking for something. Doesn't find it. Backs up and onto the keep, which is now falling very quickly.
Yeah, it's the scatter effect. They saw him coming in. They know he has Mosh Pit, so they know they had to back up, and that's enough to get them to keep all by itself. Just the threat of Mosh Pit is enough. He is going to get charged. He will slide out, gets the cleanse to keep him nice and smooth in there as he's trying to charge around. Meanwhile, way on the backside is Chen just dancing down on the core already. The Guardians are the only one left here for the Zerg wave, but it is helping push in, and they're starting to chip away at the shields.
Yeah, but I don't think Ban Show quite has enough in the tank to end here. They might get a little bit of chip core damage, but I think that's going to be all she wrote. And they feel the same way too. They'll take their 19% core damage and be satisfied with that. And 11 minutes into the game, that's nothing to scoff at, really.
Yeah, and that's also going to be now catapults spawning and the top for the rest of the game, and just something that Frank's Furters is going to constantly have to answer throughout this match.
And here comes the aggressive invade again. They're going to try to catch him off guard. ETC is not here. They do catch, who is that? I couldn't tell, but the peel is there. But there is the APOC and Tomb combo on 3. Cups popped up to try to keep everyone up, but it does not work. ETC, the first to fall, closely followed by Dahaka and Zul'jin and Diablo, who is respawning with souls, but Ariel is not getting out of here. So despite the initial first kill onto ETC, Bancho responds with a quad and then says, hey, while we're here.
Yeah, that quad kill ended right on top of the boss, so nice play again from Bancho. That so much AoE damage. I mean, it's just all of a sudden, it's like everybody on Frank's Furters was at 1 HP, and then 3 of them just popped all at once. It was pretty amazing. It's this multi-shot build paired with the Kael'thas damage. It's a very potent combo when you're able to get them into some kind of funnel to be able to take all that damage, and it was very well executed again. Bancho is winning this game mostly off the heels of their good team fighting.
Well, and then not just that, boy, is Dahaka in trouble. Holy moly. They do manage to isolate out Shusuida. I don't think it'll matter. Dahaka goes down. What I was starting to say was, once Bancho got this level lead, playing a heavy melee comp into a multiple level deficit is extremely difficult.
Yeah.
And I think this is going to be the beginning of the end, Jay. Zul'jin going down. Ariel shortly to follow. She did manage to resurrect Zul'jin first, who pops Taz Dingo, but it's not going to matter. APOC catches 1. 3 members go down, and a decisive Game 1 victory for Bancho. Up 4 levels, 19-3 in kills, and that was quite the display.
Yeah, definitely what I would say a decisive victory for Bancho, and just goes to show that 3 frontliners is not enough to peel Chen and ETC. No problem.
Sure, no problem whatsoever.
Well, in their defense, those 3 frontliners for Frank's Furters, not well known as the best peelers in the game, but still, just some comp issues. I think that they definitely got outplayed in the early game, because at that point you can kind of go back and forth, but Bancho just I think had the right top lane matchup and were able to shake him up down bot enough to get that early charge, and then it just kind of snowballed from there. It's like you said, it was an early level lead. They committed that 5 to top to try and stop the charge, but at that point they were losing more levels, and when they started losing members in the 4v4 after that up top, that was just kind of the real beginning of the end.
Yeah, one of the reasons I don't particularly care for Bractus is that it can be snowbally, and I think you hit the nail on the head. That Chen Dahaka matchup was just so rough for Frank's Furters, and it put them at a disadvantage from minute 1, basically. And combined, I mean, even if the 4-man went even down with the bottom lane, that top matchup was just so rough for Dahaka. It kind of rolled off of that, and combined with really clean play from Bancho, and that is the outcome of that. So, game number 2. We will be back with that in just a couple minutes. I'll put the BRB screen back and hang tight. All right, Jay, we are back for game 2, hopefully soon, between Frank's Furters and Ban Cho. So if you... Oh, there is the lobby invite. So we are very
Right on
close.
time.
Yeah, what's going to be at Alterac Pass. They haven't set the lobby settings yet, so I don't know who picked this. But if I am Frank's Furters, I want first pick because
Right.
of the meta. I mean, they did get the Ariel and still lost, but all right. So they did take first pick. They being Frank's Furters and Bancho choosing to go to Alterac Pass, which has one of the more unique end games. The boss has armor depending on how many keeps are up, which makes it very difficult to end with just one keep. Most of the time, you're going to take the second keep down before you make the end game play, and making that end game play all the more important on Alterac because if you don't finish it, he heals up. You can't leave it at 5% and come back later. You either finish it or you have to fight it to full strength again.
Yeah, you lose all that progress. It's definitely one of, if not the most unique maps that we have in the rotation. And just in general, such a heavy reliance on one camp, which is not something we see in a whole lot of maps here on Heroes of the Storm. That mid camp is so influential with the damage it can do. Mid lane becomes the priority, even with bosses in the top and bottom lane. So the ability to get those camps on cooldown is very important priority here. And then team fighting in general. Wave clear is good here. Wave clear is good on every map, of course, but I would say on this map, it's slightly less important than any other map on Heroes of the Storm. It's definitely not the priority. The map objective doesn't really require a whole lot of wave clear. You just have to single target down the one commander in each lane. And it's really all about the team fighting over these camps or over these prisons and then those mid camps.
Yeah, and a couple other interesting things about Alterac is one, it's off the top of my head, the only battlefield where mid lane is the most important lane. Usually it's top or bottom, but mid lane because one, you can stall the objectives safely with the right heroes from that mid fort. But two, the mercenaries that push down mid are more powerful than the bosses.
Right.
And it's all the more reason to really focus that mid lane. So that is another interesting factoid for Alterac Pass. Tankeray and MRMing, thank you for the follows. I do appreciate it. So let's see the draft adjustments. What draft adjustments are we going to see?
Well, first and foremost, if I'm Frank's Furters, I really want to focus more on how I'm going to counter the team fighting from Bancho in this matchup. They didn't have a great answer for what they did, and there it is. They're going to go ahead and take away the Kael'thas.
That's a good one.
But so that's one way, is just ban out what they played, make them play something else, make them show you that they can play more than one thing successfully, and try to dissect what that is early in the draft and come up with an answer for it.
Yeah, I would try to go a little more standard, rather than the triple frontline solo Zul'jin, as Rexxar being banned out again. So that is going to leave Deathwing or Ariel up for Frank's Furters. And then a couple other heroes. I don't know if either of these teams have these in their toolbox, but Junkrat and Chromie are very strong on Alterac because they can interrupt from mid-fort almost imperviously on the objectives. Anna banned out again for Frank's Furters. Deathwing banned out again for Bancho. So let's see if we do a repeat. Do they first pick Ariel and give up the ETC again? And they do. And I think that's the choice that Bancho is kind of forcing them out on, because Frank's Furters loves themselves some ETC. Obviously, Skeev or Skev13 played a great ETC in Game 1, and I think that's what Bancho is doing. You guys can only get ETC or Ariel, and we're going to get the other, so take your pick. But I was wrong. Instead, they grabbed the Joe, and they're going to give ETC over to Frank's Furters. Interesting. I would be surprised if it wasn't picked here. Very surprised.
Yeah, we saw the Joe banned out early, so this time Skeeve is going to get his hands on that early. Meanwhile, Li Ming, one of those characters that can constantly block from the mid lane, all the more reason that the mid lane is the top priority here on this map on Alterac. So we will see that ETC coming out and a Garrosh. That is very, very uncommon, mainly because these are two super high control tanks that are very, very low damage output. So we'll see how this works out for him.
Assuming, Jay, Frank's Furters picks two high damage output heroes to round out their comp, I actually really like that, and I'll tell you why. Because Li Ming is very all or nothing. If she doesn't get her resets, she is significantly less good as a hero. And if you're trying to blow through a Garrosh and an ETC, both high control, difficult to kill tanks, it's going to be difficult, I think, for Li Ming to get her resets.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Also, Li Ming tends to want to target the squishy heroes, and one of the most annoying things One of the most annoying things for Li Ming is when the tanks are blocking all your shots. But I mean, we can't just skip over the Illidan Abathur combo. Illidan coming out, that is not a hero you see every day, but that is a hero that can get into the back line. It can be very, very difficult to control in general, and can maybe try to help Li Ming finish off some of these characters on the back line if she's able to get some damage.
I want Uther and a hyper carry.
All right.
From Frank's Furters. Raynor works too, but the Uther would lock down Illidan, who's already going to be taunted by Garrosh, imposing presence from ETC. Ariel can take blinds. Would have been, I think, impossible for them to burn through an Ariel Uther with an Illidan Li Ming.
Yeah, the Illidan can definitely handle Raynor with his ability to just negate auto attack damage. The Orphea might be a little bit more difficult, or Orphea a little bit slippery in the back line. Illidan can keep up with her, but not as well and stick as well as with most heroes, giving them time to cut them off. But Anduin going to be the healing choice here. Kind of a pseudo Uther, but in a lot of ways. But even more control, and can also put a little bit of extra healing from a distance, but not from a great distance for Illidan.
Now, even despite all of that, though, Illidan's going to have to pick his spots, because ETC, Garrosh, Ariel is a lot of CC.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So if he just kind of YOLOs in there, I think the best way for this to happen is Johanna kind of has to go in there and eat some of the CC first, and then the Illidan is kind of that secondary engage. You don't want to just hunt into the middle of all that and get exploded, right?
That's a tough one, Goose. Who wins in a long-term drag-out fight? Who wins the sustained team fight?
I think that's Frank's Furters. Li Ming is a blow-up mage. Raynor is never going to run out of cooldowns or mana.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's Frank's Furters. You have indefinite mana out of Ariel, right? Assuming she's getting batteried up.
Right.
Well, let's see. Game 2. Bancho, Frank's Furters, Div D East. The blue team, the presumptive #1 seed in Division D East. After tonight, we'll know for sure. Skev 13 or Skeeve 13 on Johanna. Shusi on Abathur. Quinnell on Li Ming. Ronin on Illidan. And Blues Steen on the haughty Anduin skin. The one where he looks like a total tool that you want to punch.
And on the right, we've got Frank's Furters trying to take us to a game 3 here. We've got Dowling Pig on the ETC, Indecisive on Ariel. Boggs playing Raynor. We've got Magic Master playing the Orphea. And we have DJ Cold Cuts on the Garrosh.
I mean, on that skin, though, in the loading screen, when he's on that, corporate skin, and he's got that smirk, don't you just want to punch that skin in the face, right?
It's true. It's kind of like that preppy high school kid smile, you know, like
the one that I'm so much better than you.
Yeah, like my dad's rich and you need to do what I say.
And you're like, shut up, Anduin.
That's the smile.
No one likes you anyway.
I mean, he is a prince, but king now actually. as it turns out. Spoilers.
Now, one of the things I want Frank's Furters here to do, with them being light on a body, I want them to control these lanes, because wave clear could be an issue for Bancho, so I really want to have them push lanes. Ariel has already started on this camp. I assume someone is going to go help?
Nah, just the Ariel. That's fine. Indecisive got this.
At some point, right? I mean, he's doing fine, but it's going to
We'll see him next year. It's fine.
Forever. He might not be done with this until Game 3.
If he wasn't done with it in this game, I don't think there would be a Game 3, Goose.
That is very true. And here's an offlane matchup you don't see much. The one where neither one can kill the other. The Garrosh versus Johanna matchup.
They're not even trying.
I like that the Unstoppable was used to prevent the throw off of the globe. That is excellent.
That makes me so happy.
So Illidan grabs the camp. Frank's Furters do the same, almost at the same time. They both come crashing mid. Experience is dead even. Neither team being super aggressive. They're kind of just waiting it out.
Yeah, both camps taken a little bit earlier for Frank's Furters, but that just means it's going to step up into the towers and get shot down while they're fighting each other. So now Bancho will have maybe an opportunity to try and push these into the wall and get a little bit of damage. But, of course, Magic Master is going to have the wave clear to clear this up pretty quickly. And looks like instead they're going to rotate up top, maybe see if they can get a Rainer.
That self-heal, keeping Boggs out of trouble. The advantage to securing this camp early is if you do it, see, both teams were too late. Ideally on Alterac Pass, you rip that camp as soon as it spawns, because then you can actually get it a second time before the objective comes up, or right as the objective comes up. But both teams were actually too late.
And then you kind of force the enemy team into a pickle. You know, do they clear the mid lane, that priority lane, or do they go to the camp early? And this is a pretty common thing, actually, is teams not making a beeline for the objective, especially for this first one. They're going to make sure their lanes are clear. They're both going to probably try and get level 7. And Bancho right now has a little bit of a level lead, probably due to that Abathur soak. And we're going to continue to, unless, depending on how long this goes.
Yeah, and if you're Frank's Furters, you want to get something done in the early game here. Power slide onto Abathur or Illidan. He's in trouble, as is Raynor, but there is the reset. And if you get first reset as a Li-Ming comp, you're winning. And there it is. Illidan and Raynor were both close. If Illidan went down first, that fight is so different.
Yes. And this is exactly what Li-Ming wants. She wants a divey hero that can get in there and finish off kills after she pokes somebody low. And that's exactly what happened. Jimmy got low from a huge Q from Quinal and couldn't finish it because Jimmy just falls back behind those tanks. But that's not a problem for Illidan, especially with the Abathur hat. He got in there, finished it off, and the resets did the rest.
Yeah, but if you're the side of Frank's Furters and you're losing this objective early with an Abathur, you're in trouble. Like, you have to be getting this early objective when there is an Abba on the other side. And look at the XP already, Jay. Part of that is the kills. But great throw by DJ Coldcut, securing the Anduin and the Johanna. That is what Frank's Furters needed. A little bit of a friendly toss on Orphea, but I guess she's heavier than she looks. Nice job by DJ Coldcuts again to eat the interrupts there. And they jump right onto this objective, and they really need that with all the XP soak that Abba's grabbing.
DJ Coldcut saying, "I trust Orphea as far as I can throw her," which is this far.
Which is this far, not very far.
But that is going to be first objective captured here. Frank's Furters, like you said, needed to make something happen. This Abathur is a slow bleed, not only on the XP, but also on the damage. It's slowly going to be putting out more and more of those little guys. I forget the names of them, the little spawns that he's got. And it's slowly going to push the lanes a little bit at a time. It's not a huge effect early in the game, but later game you start to feel that as that extra structure damage starts to stack up.
So ETC going to soak the offlane, Raynor into the other offlane. Bancho, a nice job of grabbing the camp since they couldn't get the objective, kind of getting the consolation prize there. And usually you don't get too much value out of this first objective. If you're Frank's Furters here, your wall hunting is basically what you want to do. Get as much wall as you can. Particular in the mid lane, running at Quinal running away. but no throw. And this right here, pre-10, Abathur, lack of bodies, is where you could really feel that, but not if you get Ronin with a hat able to take out that Jimmy.
Yeah, that's going to stifle things up in the top lane, but level 10 going to be reached just a hair earlier for Ban Cho. Level 10 coming in here soon for Frank's Furters, but over for Ban Cho. Looks like we got Blessed Shield and the Hunt coming out, and still holding for the other three. We got some choices still in queue here.
Yeah, and worth noting, only 2 towers between all 3 lanes that first objective. So I know it's not too powerful, but you want to get a little bit more than that, I think.
Yeah. Well, the siege is not that great. Really, the only character that Frank's Furters has is Raynor. Yeah, that does any kind of siege damage. So we got Disintegrate, and of course, Ultimate Evolution picked up. Though I'll tell you what, if there was any one map that I might consider picking, the other one, the one I forget the name of because it's terrible, but it would be this one because you want the hat on Illidan most of the time. So just having that big guy to push might be an interesting pick, but. They're going to go with the more standard. Double Illidan.
So
or maybe double Ming. Who knows?
Could be double Ming. So Frank's Furters, level 10s. We have Mosh Pit, Resurrection, Hyperion. I forget what that is. Crushing Jaws, Warlord's Challenge. And the ones that we didn't see were Light Bomb, Disintegrate Beam. Interesting, usually with Li Ming you see Wave of Force for Mosh Pit, but not going that direction. There's the Light Bomb on Illidan, catches Jimmy, only one. Nice whip there by Indecisive. Bog still in trouble though, and down goes Raynor. You cannot take this without your tanks. You have 2 tanks for Frank's Furters, and neither one of them is here. If that is the case, you cannot fight.
Yeah, that's rough. The boss grab, pretty crafty here from Ban Cho, and taking full advantage of it. The boss was definitely Bluestein. Ouch.
Yeah, this DJ Coldcuts has been making plays this game, frankly. Yeah. And big timing on that too.
But yeah, Ban Cho with very good execution there. I see why the Disintegrate is in there because you can't block Disintegrate, and so that's going to help Ban Cho be able to finish off those kills with the Illidan jumping around in the back line, making it just a little easier for him to get those resets. But
well, not just that, is interrupting Mosh Pit is irrelevant if ETC is not in the team fights.
That's true.
Now an invade here. They are looking spicy. Get out of here, Illidan. Nice job again by DJ Coldcuts. Johanna in trouble. They leap of faith her away, but Frank's Furters, say what you will, they have shown zero hesitation about getting aggressive in both of these games.
Not a timid team, for sure, but by the way, I hadn't noticed this level 7, but Li Ming actually going with the missile build, but big crushing jaws on the backside. They're trying to find somebody, but actually missed. It's the other team. It's going the other way. They were trying to kind of stall that advance, but no. Ban Cho came running through there. Nice sidestep to avoid the crushing jaws, and then they just started knocking people over again with those resets.
I love the idea. The execution wasn't there, but the idea of the crushing jaws was beautiful. If it was just a hair higher, it would have been really, really good. But unfortunately for Frank's Furters, Ariel just kind of took way too much poke damage to start that off. Illidan just hunted right on top of it for the confirmed kill and the Li Ming reset. Oh, yeah, Boggs, for a minute Boggs!
Oh, no. He is going to get out, though. Big Blessed Shield coming in to try to at least keep them there, but it's not enough.
They can get Joe here.
Nice leap of faith to at least get Illidan out of there. And Skev actually goes back in with that big condemn, and the light bomb, not quite fast enough, goes down before the light bomb can go off. And so it's back and forth, but it is Joe that goes down first, and it's going to be Ban Cho that has to get out of dodge here.
But worth noting, they got the objective. You see the power of resurrection there. ETC went down, pressed the button, back in the game, but 13 to 15 in levels. Ban Cho with an Abathur. They're definitely in the driver's seat here.
Yeah, now they've got it pushing in every single lane here for the objective. They're trying to get something done here in the mid, but there's just not a whole lot of support without Joe. They got to be very careful with this double tank. But at the same time, again, there's not a whole lot of wave clear for Frank's Furters. So it's going to take them a little bit of time to make it around the map and clear all of these things.
Yeah, I think they're going to be down to one or no. Actually, Illidan's caught out. Oh, I kind of didn't really want the whip there, frankly. But going on to Orphea, and they just cannot. The level difference with an Abahat is too much right now. Illidan is just kind of doing what he wants.
Yeah, kind of a slippery target for Orphea to be able to hit those skill shots on as well. So it can be a little bit hard to secure that damage onto the Illidan to finish him off. He got very low, but just wasn't quite able to get the kill. Oof. Nice sidestep by Magic Master there. That damage combo coming in from Li Ming was almost ruined his day.
So once again, Bancho controlling game number 2. Not quite as decisive as game number 1, but definitely in control of this map, as Frank's Furters is kind of struggling to find an answer to this Illidan comp.
You could make the argument, Goose, that is a product of the map itself. It's not as snowbally as Braxis is. But Frank's Furters also keeping themselves in it as well. Don't want to take anything away from them, but the hunt comes in, the lockdown on Dallying Pig, and that's going to be a big kill. And now this is a problem. Frank's Furters gonna be... Oh, actually, never mind. They got the Resurrect, and now they can be a 5v4 with Ultimate Evolution down.
Yeah, that's true. At the same time, though, that means Rez won't be up for the next objective. So I wonder if it might have been worth eating the death timer and saving it, but that would have given up boss as well. So I think that probably was the right call here. And now forcing a fight over boss without Rez, probably a good call, as Bancho is just kind of chunking down poor DJ Cold Cuts here. And they might get a reset out of this. It's going to be close. That armor is going to help a lot, but Johanna is just kind of sniffing around this boss. They do get the Garrosh after all. There's the light bomb onto Illidan. The whip keeps him away for now, but he gets onto Orphea anyway. And this just went from bad to worse for poor Frank's Furters. The Mosh Pit will catch a couple, but that is an ace. All 5 kills secured by Mademoiselle Li Ming.
Yeah, just going off there with the resets, very, very well aimed. That's the thing with this the Seeker build, is that if you can just get those three out of those 5 missiles onto a single target, ton of damage to the one, and you see the spacing of the kills. It's just one after the other, pretty much how long those reset abilities have to come in. So just knocking them down like bowling pins here.
All right, so this is almost definitely first key. 4 level difference, 16 to 20 in levels. Frank's Furters in desperation mode. Taunt goes down. DJ Colcut's just getting beaten up out there. There's a light bomb onto 3 with the blessed shield. Oh my.
Oh no.
That's gonna be it, Jay. Wow. Somebody clip that.
Yep.
Good golly.
Yeah, that deserves to be in a highlight reel for the season right there. That was an excellent light bomb combo, and Bancho executing on all levels here tonight. They're going to earn themselves this 2-0 domination.
Showing why they have only dropped Nay 1 map this season.
And they'll say on to the next series.
And they will. I don't know exactly what the official game time for that is. Let's check it out. What is the official game time for the main event between Bancho and Probius? Is in a half an hour. So they have 30 minutes. But that was quite a showing. Bancho getting... I haven't had a chance to watch them too much this season. They are They have been in Division C. Typically, they got bounced down this season, but showing why they are going right back up next season. Whew.
I gotta admit, Goose, I do enjoy seeing a Li Ming combo work.
Sure.
One of my favorite heroes. She's not been that prevalent in the meta for a long time, it seems like, but it just goes to show if you got the right combo and you execute it well, you don't have to play super meta heroes, and a lot of times you could pull off these combos when people just aren't prepared to counter them.
I mean, Li Ming felt so comfortable. Glass cannon.
Yeah, for sure. And normally, you would expect to see the teleport ability there, but if they're not threatening you, then you don't really have anything to worry about at that point. You can just pour on more damage.
I mean, Illidan was just taking so much attention.
Right.
Li Ming was never under threat. I mean, they were constantly falling back onto themselves to try to deal with that Illidan.
Right.
Well,
and the Anduin able to put out a little bit of extra healing by going the Divine Star build as well, especially to that Illidan in the back. You can reach out to him, and that inner focus to put a little bit of extra healing if he can get in far enough to get those heals onto him.
Well, Jay, that's going to do it for us. We will throw over to Arrow, who will be casting the same Bancho team in their battle for first place against Probius. He is currently game in session right now, and he is casting Division B Tiny Dancers versus Indecisive Scrubs. So we will throw our peeps over there. Thanks for hanging out, guys. I'll probably be casting a little bit more in the playoffs because I haven't done it too much this season. But thanks for the follows and the bits, those of you that had it. And enjoy the rest of your evening. And for those of you who are participating, good luck in the playoffs next week.
Good luck, guys.